Hello everyone, some Survivor gameplay from Dead by Daylight, and we're playing on Gas Haven, Auto Haven Wreckers. Real great Survivor map this. All the pallets are almost all great pallets with low barriers. You can always keep your eye on the killer. This map's a nightmare when you play killer at the high ranks and you're killer and you're trying to rank up. This map will haunt you, so it will. But as a survivor, this is always the first gen that I always want to take out. And I'm so glad that there's another Claudette here co-oping this gen. Because once you get this garage door open, this is a real great running route for when the killer's on you. You can really survive much easier once the door's open. Normally the first place the killer would check. I'm so glad to get this gen popped right away, because there's a pallet there, and then there's a pallet on where the gen is, and then there's a pallet then outside the door, and then there's a few windows there. It's really, there's so many links to prolonging your chase. Really, that's the first gen I would always take out. You see the other Claudette there was this killer. He was doing that to me in this game. He was double bluffing the survivor there on the pallet, and that survivor knows what they're doing. She didn't panic the first time. She stood at the pallet. She knew that he was going to go around the far end, but there was a barrier there, and she lost his view for a second, and then she went over the pallet and got caught. You'll see later on in the game that something similar, the situation to me, but the pallet that I was doing that on had much more running space around it, and it took the killer longer to get there, and even at that, he nearly got me a few times. That's just things that I always, even yet, I still get caught with that mistake. You're really taking a chance with that. If it goes on too long, the killer will get you. And look, there's another pallet. Once you go into get that building open, you've got 4 pallets there. You see me perk build here's Urban Evasion, Resilience, Sprint Burst, and Stakeout. Stakeout's not the greatest perk about, but in Dead by Daylight every game's different, and there's always a different situation. I believe Stakeout was the game winner in this game for me. You see there, Thanatophobia really makes healing take so much longer. Well, I had the Stakeout there when I was watching that Claudette getting hooked, and I just healed her super quick. And I've still got 1 stack for this gen. Really great perk whenever there's Hex Rune as well. You really can't have everyone looking for the Hex Rune, because normally that's what happens. Everyone's running around the map looking for Hex Rune. And if I have Stakeout, well, I just stay on gen. I can hear the killer passing by and he's just filling up my stack. Especially if he's chasing someone close by and you're on a gen, well, he just keeps filling up your Stakeout, and you just stay on that gen, and you're just hitting great skill check after great skill check. And look how fast I'm doing this gen with the toolbox and with that 1 Stakeout. It's almost like a co-op in this gen, so it was. Really, I didn't have much contact with the killer in this game until the end. I'm looking at my perks here now. I really didn't even have great running perks. Great running perks would be Dead Hard and Decisive Strike. Well, Sprint Burst is a good perk because if you're doing a gen and the killer's coming, well, you can hang on that gen and and he thinks he's going to hit you, and then you just take off the sprint burst and you bait him into a missed attack, and it buys you more time to get the pallet or whatever. But the pallets are great in this map. The only bad pallets in this map really is the jungle gym pallets. And the jungle gym here, you see here behind me there where I was doing that gen, those barriers. I used to try and loop those pallets at the start. I used to watch videos on YouTube, guys running and trying to improve my game. And I used to see those guys looping pallets, and I used to try and loop jungle gym pallets. It was only after so many fails that I realised I'm never going to loop a killer on those pallets. And I always say there's throwdown pallets and then there's looping pallets. Well, these jungle gym pallets, they're definitely not looping pallets. If you're new to this game and you have watched those people looping and you're trying that, well, you'll fail looping those pallets. There's lots of killers double backing. This killer here was notorious for double backing. And once he does that, well, you're really taking a chance. You don't know where the killer is. More times than enough you're going to run into him rather than evade him. If you're fresh, you haven't taken a hit, well, I would just stand by the pallet, and when you see the killer coming, well, you could try and pallet stun him. But if you're injured, just stand by the pallet, and when you see the killer coming, don't even try and stun him, just throw it down. Because the chances are that he's going to lunge and try and hit you through the pallet and not care about the stun. Like that pallet there, you really can't loop that pallet. But this is a real great game for me here. I've taken out 3 gens here already. I'm on my 4th now. A real tough map this for the killer. And in fairness to this killer, he never hook camped anyone. Once he hooked someone, he just went somewhere else and got someone else. Sometimes this map can make you look bad as a killer, and they all taunt you going out the gate and make you look stupid as if you're a bad killer, but that's really, this map's really a nightmare for killers. I really have to leave that gen, try and save this person. As I know we're down to the 1 gen situation, and the other survivors probably on a gen and really trying their best to get that gen done. And that's what's happened here. This person would have died had I not went there. I was really furthest away. Normally I don't do that. And would you see how long it takes to heal this person this time with thanatophobia? That last time I had the 4 stacks of stakeout. Well, this had taken twice as long this time. And we're a survivor down now. And there's no way I'm going back to that other gen again. I'm just going to try and do a new gen. The chances are that the killer's seen that gen and is probably searching that area, probably leaves it, comes back. And I'm in a better area as well. If the killer's on me here, where I'll run will be into that gas station. I know there are 3 pallets nearby that station. This map used to have more pallets in it. Now we're down to 2 survivors. And he's going back to that gen that I was doing earlier. Really, I was hooked next had I went back to that gen. A really wise choice starting a new gen. Because if that killer passed this gen, which he did whenever he hooked that last person, well, he seen that gen wasn't even touched. And even at this point here, this game's still really tough. The other Meg, well, the Meg's injured, and the 2 exit gates are at the far end of the map. And it's the hillbilly. He's got a chainsaw, and he's got a straight run, no barriers. He just runs from exit gate to exit gate and keeps going back and forth. And I really timed the exit gate perfect in this. Only it was the hillbilly and that he could come in with the chainsaw. It just really made it really difficult. You see, we're in the Hollow Blight season here. I hated that season. That field there with 2 stacks in it, that stayed on my game for ages. I stopped doing that. I didn't call it Hollow Blight, I called it Dying Light and Hex Rune. That's what I called that season. It was like 2 extra perks for the killer. No one was doing gens. Everyone was harvesting. And I just abandoned it. I says, I don't care about the cosmetics in the store. You see the hillbilly here, he's zooming in and zooming back. I'm just going to wait for the hillbilly to come here. Now I see him leaving, and I'm really on this really as fast as possible. And he's got a straight chainsaw run all the way to the next gate. And the Meg's injured. Well, the Meg really can't take no chances. Look, I almost got it opened. That really scared the crap out of me, that there. And I'm hit down. Now this is the throwdown pallet I'm talking about here. Really not caring about the pallets done there. You're crazy if you try and loop those pallets. And see, this killer doubles back. I'm so glad he broke that pallet there. This stage of the game here, I'm not trying to loot pallets. There's no reason to loot pallets. You only loot pallets when you're trying to waste killer time and so other people can get gens done. Well, the gens are done, and the other Megs opened the gate and got out. On me on here now, I'm sure she tried to leave me the hatch. You've seen the other Claudette here. Look how close that hit was. Well, that's how this guy caught the other Claudette. Look, he went in out of my line of sight there, and he's trying to trick me. Well, this is a much better pallet than the Claudette at the start of the game, because I've got way much more space. And look how close that is again. The other Claudette was trying that from my left here, and it just really wasn't as good as the one I was doing it on. It's really a dangerous game. And he's not letting me go anywhere near that exit gate side. And look at this guy. I used to panic and go straight over. And look how close that is again. He was almost round the front of that car. That's why I always love getting this gen done first. Because look at the many escape routes and the many pallets I've got here. I was so thrilled making it out of this game. It was my greatest surviving game ever. really no need to pallet loop in that situation. It was just survival. And so lucky that those pallets were there at that gas station. Had they not been there, I would never have survived that game. And a thumbs up to the killer. He didn't tunnel or camp. You look at my scores here now. I had maxed all emblems, Lightbringer, done 4 gens, maxed my evader, healed everyone, and only got 1 hit in the game.